Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Icarus, and today I kind of wanted to talk just a little bit about what I've noticed evolving over the past few years. The whole purity culture thing that's been happening in fandom and general internet spaces. This isn't a very research, thought out video, but instead is sort of what I know and remember and have seen happening, and I just want that to be clear because this isn't research. This isn't a week for well-researched videos. This is a week of Isaiah saying whatever the fuck is on his mind, and also forgetting that he's trying to go by Icarus now. Can you tell? I misname my own self, so just gotta learn to live with it, right? Anyway, so what I remember from the earliest point was seeing posts about the My Little Pony cleanup, and I don't remember exactly when this was. It could have been anywhere from 2012 to 2015 as far as I can remember. My brain is very fuzzy on that part, but this was a time when My Little Pony was really, really big, so of course there's a lot of porn. And a lot of the porn was untagged, easily searchable. Like you could scroll through a Rainbow Dash tag, and within three, on the first page really, you would find pornography. Not really good for uh, a TV show directed towards little girls. And a lot of people agreed, so they decided they were going to clean up the internet. And that was like at least a week of just people dedicated towards finding these images and either getting them removed or getting them underneath some tags and behind passwords, kind of sort of cleaning up the internet back to how it was when I was 16 sneaking on fanfiction.net looking for yaoi to read at 1 in the morning because that was the only time I had a chance to really sneak online. We're childhood. Things have changed so much since then. Anyway, so that was the first, and it was something I agreed with because I am one of those people that thinks that porn should definitely be locked behind like password protection, verify your age, that sort of thing. I've never had a problem with that. I do have a problem with people going into spaces and then being upset at what they find there, but that's a different beast. We'll get to that. So that's the first thing I remember. The next really big moment I kind of remember is the Steven Universe, Steven Galaxy tag on Tumblr. So people would, of course, draw porn for Steven Universe because it's the internet. Therefore, there's porn of everything. And people didn't like it. So the porn writers and the porn artists started using a different spelling of Steven and Galaxy because it's very similar to Steven Universe, but it's not Steven Universe. So people can find it if they know what they're looking for. But that wasn't good enough because by this point of Tumblr dumb and internet dumb, there was starting to be more of a discussion about what is and isn't acceptable to consume. And this is where I first start seeing the parallels to old school networks that were fear-mongering over video games, causing violence in little boys, that sort of thing. Even though there wasn't any demonstrable evidence that it was causing increased violence, there were some very small tendencies, but it wasn't to the level that people were fear-mongering. Now most people get it. And honestly, the biggest danger that video games have, besides people becoming idiots about it, is the fact that video games are used as training in the US military. You wonder where the budget goes, it goes to shit like that. So there was, of course, hubbub because Steven Universe was another show that core audience was really meant for kids and not the young adults that were consuming and creating fan content on Tumblr at the time. And there was a lot of preaching of you shouldn't be doing XYZ to these characters, that's where some of the first mentions of you shouldn't be drawing porn of these underage characters, because there's a character named Stevani who is a fusion of two children, and supposedly the fusion is the age of the combined children, so like mid 20s, early mid 20s, and people were drawing porn of them. And it split some people out because, again, this was a fusion of two characters who were children. Understandable, not their kink. But this is when people really started sort of protesting that sort of thing, and more than wanting things kept behind tags and stuff that weren't necessarily super intuitive to find the porn, they just didn't want it to exist at all. And things have slowly escalated from there. You have nowadays a lot of younger people talking about how there should never be porn of certain characters. You shouldn't consume media or like problematic characters or villains, etc., etc. There's even talks about very small age gaps of like a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old being problematic, and pedophilia. You start having words like pedophilia, gaslighting, grooming. Those words start going from being learned about and understood to sort of abused to the point where the words no longer have meaning, or it's very easy to dismiss the concerns because you see those terms relegated towards fictional characters, usually dismissing someone's ideas of like anything. And so you just look at that and you're like, oh, I'm not going to bother reading it. It's from this certain type of person. It's from an SJW or whatever, which I disagree with. There are SJWs that aren't about this. And during all of this, there becomes a backlash to the backlash, where because people are trying to police what people consume, they're, of course, because some of them are kids, they will go and harass people who make this stuff because the brains aren't developed yet. And these people get upset, and some of these people are also kids, so then they go and retaliate, and things keep escalating, and people get hurt. And you end up with stuff like artists on Twitter fixing people's drawings to be fat, Muslim, whatever. There's a specific artist I'm talking about. I can't remember her name. And then she ends up getting hacked or whatever and never posts again. That sort of stuff happens. And I'm looking at this as someone who didn't grow up in fandom, who really didn't grow up online, because I didn't start interacting with people online until I was 18. And I am very confused by all of this. And I say this as someone who's watched it all grow, and as someone who grew up in very typical Southern Baptist purity culture, where I went to a concert, I was either 13 or 14, that was in a school auditorium, and it was all about getting a promise ring. And every single year I would have people talk to me about being pure and not having sex and that sort of thing. And it finally just, I wore that ring from whenever I got it, anywhere between, I said 13 or 14, but it might have been as young as 12, because I distinctly remember having it in middle school. It was one of the only pieces of jewelry that I really tolerated wearing at the time. And I had that until a year or so into college. And these same things that I grew up with the idea that sexuality is wrong, having sexual thoughts of XYZ sort is wrong. If you want to consume problematic content, it's wrong. People can use these bad things to make you do bad things. And it's the exact same thing that I'm seeing in this wanting to redraw stuff to be more diverse, even if it's someone else's work that they put time into, and it's like the original characters and shit. Bullying people to the point of going offline or self-harm because they drew a fat-ish character a little too skinny, to trying to protest AO3 not censoring anything because AO3 is familiar with the fact that if they start censoring, then there's a slippery slope, to invading someone's private password protected blog and deciding that they need to use that in their call out post to say why this person sucks. Yeah, so I don't know. I thought this would be an interesting topic just to do a short overview for celebrating the sex number, hitting the sex number on this YouTube channel. I have officially peaked. A bunch of trans women who identify with Badals has found my Badal video and are nonstop harassing me, which is hilarious. I've been told to kill myself a couple of times. I have asked them to sign a suicide pact with me, and no one's responded, so I guess I'm staying alive a bit longer. But other than that, I don't really have anything left to say today. I'm very excited moving forward. Tomorrow we're doing a house inspection, and I may try and bring a tape measure so I can see how big the bathroom is exactly, because I have thoughts about what I want to do to the bathroom, and I don't really know how feasible they are. I most just want to get it to the point where the toilet isn't the first thing you see when you enter. If I can change that and nothing else, I will die a happy man. But yeah, thank y'all so much for putting up with me in this evolution as I go from a Minecraft voiceover person to whatever the fuck this is, and stick with me, because we'll keep having interesting journeys and stuff. Hoping to bring back some trans mask history. I want to talk about some general trans issues. There's been some hubbub about trans women in sports again, and I would love to do some research about what's going on there, because from what I can tell, these trans women are competing completely legally, and people are getting upset, and it's dumb as hell. So yeah, with all of that out of the way, I will see y'all tomorrow. Stay hydrated, stay safe, and don't be like me, don't feed the trolls, because I am not being a good role model in that regard. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.